Companies have figured out that they can keep you coming back, not because of innovation, not because of loyalty, but because of something called planned obsolescence. I'm sure you've heard of it, and it's a real crappy thing to do.
Quick disclaimer, the views in this video are my own opinions based on research and personal observations. This video is for educational commentary only and shouldn't be considered professional advice.
Planned obsolescence are for products that are pretty much guaranteed to fail early on in their life cycle.
Not only are these modern machines becoming outdated faster, but they are more likely to break than appliances built decades ago.
The BBC says planned obsolescence happens, but it's often overstated. Most device turnover comes from economic and technological pressures, rather than gadgets being secretly engineered to fail. Manufacturers build to the cheapest acceptable lifespan, push upgrades through software, marketing, and limited support. And rapid innovation plus consumer demand make older models feel obsolete even when they still work. In short, sometimes products are engineered for shorter lives, but more often it's cost trade-offs, limited repairability, and fast-moving tech that shrink how long we keep things. Stick around, and I'll show you how to protect your wallet from that cycle.
I'll show you how to possibly spot failure points before you spend the money, how spending just a bit more money can actually save you thousands of dollars over the long run, and right to repair tactics that keep money in your pocket as opposed to the retailer's pocket. Most people cycle through phones every 3 or 4 years. Laptops are 5, and major appliances such as stoves and fridges are 7 to 8 years. This rhythm seems natural because everybody's doing it. Everybody's cycling through and buying cheap products every few years.
These are washers that have all been thrown away in less than 3.5 years.
So it's not uncommon. However, if you add up all of those costs over a long time, the bill is staggering. Washers tell the same story. A $700 model that needs to be replaced every 7 years ends up costing you $1,400 at least over 14 years. One thing that I found just baffling is that it costs often more or the same price to repair or fix a new fridge, stove, washer, whatever, than it would be to buy a new model. Like, how does that make sense? That it costs $600 or $700 to fix a washer, yet I can go out and buy a brand new washing machine for the same price. Like, companies seem to have made repairing, the right to repair, very expensive and costly, so consumers have no choice or simply don't want to. They simply go back to that same retailer and just buy the newer model. But part of planned obsolescence is that companies want to keep you coming back because we are creatures of habit, right? There was a study done on beer, and they gave a bunch of people different types of beer, right? And this, one guy I remember, he had this beer, he had a Budweiser, and he had another type of European beer. And they asked him, what beer do you prefer more? And he actually chose the European beer. He's like, I like the way this one tastes. It's just a better beer. I like it. And it was almost comparable in price. And so they asked him, okay, so are you switching now to this European beer? You're going to start drinking that? No, I'll probably go back and stick with Bud. Well, why would you do that if you like the European beer better, that it tastes better and is what you want? Creatures of habit. This is familiar. I know what to expect. I know what I'm getting. So you just keep going back to that. Think of any time you go to a store, right? And you're not really happy with the store, but you keep going back, buying similar products because that's what you know. Hey, do me a favor. If you're getting something out of this video, would you hit the like button, or even better, possibly the hype button, as I put a lot of research into each and every video that I make. Thanks a lot. Sometimes much of these items can be repaired if you go with a more expensive model. However, the trap is, well, you don't want to overpay for something that doesn't give you any additional value and be a sucker overpaying for, say, a laptop or a washing machine for features you just don't need. However, going with the cheaper model is pretty much a guaranteed design to fail that will break and end up costing you more in the long run.
Electronics that are put into the machines appear to be just simply a lower level of quality
Simple repair that should have only costed about $40 ends up costing you $400. Labor balloons past what it should take to repair. Parts have to be flown in, if they can even find replaceable parts. It's just simply a nightmare. At this point, after considering the cost for the labor, the parts, everything, it ends up costing more than the unit's parts. So what choice do you have? So you head off to Best Buy, Walmart, wherever you shop, and you pick off the newest model, almost like you're rewarding the manufacturer, saying, it was such a great product, I'll buy another. When in essence, you have no choice, right? You have to go back to those same manufacturers and buy another model. This has happened before. In the 1920s, light bulb manufacturers capped light capacity, how long they last, at 1,000 hours because, well, if lights are working, people won't buy more light bulbs. Now, I grew up in the 80s, right? With the original metal Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, and repair shops. I was used to seeing repair shops for your TV, washing machine, all of those. How many repair shops do you see now? I'm guessing not that many. Hardware examples. Modern washers use sealed tubs. So when bearings wear, you're forced to replace the whole machine. Older washing machines let you swap out parts for a fraction of the cost. I'm sure your grandma maybe has a washing machine or a fridge that's lasted her 40 or 50 years that she brags about how long she had it. And yet, your new technologically advanced model that has all these features will be lucky if it makes it past 8 or 9 years. How does that make sense? Before you buy something, and I'm talking like a big appliance that costs hundreds, maybe even over $1,000, put about a half hour of research into it. Like, look at online the reviews for it. Like, are the reviews good and positive or mostly positive? Are the parts easy to repair, or can I even get parts for it? Like, these are big appliances that you're spending your hard-earned money on. So you want to be able to know if you can repair it or if you're going to have to drop another $1,000 in 5-6 years and get another one. So I really, if it's a big purchase, put some effort into researching those appliances. If your device works, why does it feel outdated every year that passes? Say every September, you feel like you have an older model. This is because of things like social engineering, feature creep, and social stylizing, where you have to have the newest brand new model is pumped and promoted all over the TV, the internet, whatever, by your friends, when really the features aren't that much different than the previous version. Marketing slightly nudges you, not even slightly, into urgency that you have to have this newest improved product or you're missing out. Much of the same hype was given to the previous version just a year or two ago. But now this newest model will make headlines. It's revolutionizing the industry. Like, it makes no sense, but they always do this to get people hyped to buy the newest improved model. I will give them this though, top-notch marketing and promotion. In case we haven't met, I'm Aaron, a 20-year corporate accountant and analyst living in Western Canada. I talk about personal finance, investing, and investment portfolios. I've been investing for over 20 years now, and I think it's safe to say I know my stuff. I have a lot of experience and education in finance, and that's what I like to share with my audience, the middle class, because I believe they can really benefit from some of the things that I've learned. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider subscribing to my channel. Photo libraries, messaging, watch pairing, all these applications make it difficult to switch to another brand. Oh, it'll cost you a ton of time. Go out, get the newest model from that same manufacturer. It makes other products feel inferior, and it's costly to switch. Treat cosmetic or aesthetic refreshes because it looks nice as just simply noise. Just block it out. You don't care about impressing your friends or how high up you rank in social comparison. That's just unnecessary noise. Wait at least 2 generations before you do an upgrade, if you can, if it'll last that long, so that the upgrade feels like a real jump. The defense kit. Buy once, repair, and maintain it. I went to Costco, a great store, right? And I saw a pair of boots for $50. And well, you think this was years ago. Oh, well, $50. You can't beat that, right? So I brought the boots home, and if you know anything, I'm assuming you do if you live in Canada, about wearing winter boots, well, what do? You grab the laces, not super hard, you give them a pull, right? First time I tried that, the eyelet came right off. I'm like, and I didn't even pull it that hard. I'm like, oh, well, that's odd. Okay, well, take them back, right? I just bought them, I hadn't been worn even outside yet. Okay, they gave me another pair. Same thing happened. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, took them back again, came home with another pair. After I think it was the 3rd day, same thing happened. And now I know where you're going, right? Well, Aaron, what do you expect for 50 bucks? I know, but now I know better. So I went to Mark's, and I'm not kidding you. I got these boots. They cost me over $200. I think it was about $220. And great, a lot more than I paid for those $50 boots. And I bought these. These are 3-4 years old already. Look at, no problems with them because I maintain them. I, give them the polish. I clean them out. If the manufacturer says to do something when I buy something, like make sure the filter's clean, make sure you oil this, I do that. But it really aggravates me when you've done all that and the product still fails. Because I don't know about you, but if I start using a bad, cheap product, I don't think about the extra savings, right? It doesn't register in my mind like, well, I saved $30. I start to get frustrated over using it, right? It doesn't work right. It breaks. This falls apart. And suddenly, I don't care about the money. I care about having a quality product that I can take pride in, right? And I take really good pride in having something that, hey, this has lasted me 7-8 years. I love it. And I start recommending it to my friends and family. Nobody cares about, well, look at this thing. It causes me nothing but grief and headaches, but hey, I saved 30 bucks. Big deal. And a lot of it comes down to consumer expectations, right? We only expect a pair of pants or a fridge to cost this much, so we're only able or willing to spend that much money. And this has happened for years and years. It's been a buildup where jeans that cost $50 or $60, well, we expect them to cost $50 or $60 10 years later, even though inflation has increased dramatically. So in essence, it should be about $150. These manufacturers know this, so they cut corners, right? What used to be double stitching is now single stitching. What used to be screwed on parts or professional components are now just glued on cheaply, thrown together quickly to meet that bottom standard of quality. I don't know about you, but I just want to be able to buy something that isn't bottom quality, but isn't the top tier level that's super expensive and maybe it's just slightly better. That I feel like if I'm buying it, I'm getting ripped off. But I want to see and have pride of ownership in something I've scrimped and saved to buy.
The optimal value zone sits roughly in the 30 to 50% price range, where product durability, engineering quality, and warranty length improve meaningfully without paying for brand prestige or cosmetic upgrades. Buying in this range minimizes replacement frequency and total life cycle cost, which compounds into thousands of dollars over decades.
I would rather have a product that does only a few things but does it extremely well than all these products that are coming out and having all this flashy doodads, stuff I didn't even ask for, don't even want, and they kind of do a piss poor job of it. That it breaks or it only works some of the time. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it. It costs a lot more. It's very expensive to repair all those new features. It's not worth it. Just give me something that does it extremely well, 90-95% of the time. I'm totally happy. I don't need cameras inside my dryer to watch the actual speed and tell me when something's dry. I'll just go down, open the door, and look at it myself. I don't need to receive notifications on my phone when it's 30% towards completion. An example of this is this Vitamix blender. I love it. All it's supposed to do is blend. And when I've used this thing, I don't get the chunks, when you use a blender and sometimes you get your bloop bloop and you get chunks left in it, or it won't grind or blend or mix something evenly. Never had any problems with this. This I take care of, and these are the products I'm talking about. And no, this video isn't sponsored by Vitamix. I try to be transparent and tell you about products I really believe in. This is one of them. Hey, do me a favor. If you're getting something out of this video, would you hit the like button, or even better, the hype button, as I put just a ton of research into each and every video that I make. Much appreciated. Some of the best things you can do are simply take a look at the product. Like, does this product look overly complex and have all these unnecessary features? Or when you look at, say, a frying pan, is it have rivets for screws? That signals usually good quality. Is the company reputable? Or is it just a cheap product and it's probably just been thrown together with glue? That is pride of ownership in me, and not simply living in a disposable world where you use a product once, you throw it out, and well, who cares about the environment and all that wasted money? I'm just going to go buy a new one. And that half-hour research will save you the headache of buying a cheap thing that you get no value out of, and for me, just causes me frustration and headaches, right? Like, why did I buy this thing? Second, read that manual, right? Look into filters need to be replaced. Do I have to oil it? What is the proper repair and maintenance that I'm supposed to do for this product, right? Also, you can go to iFixit guides online. Look for, maybe you can do it yourself. Maybe it's a simple fix. I had to swap out that little component. Me and one of my friends came in and we pulled the fridge out, swapped out that component ourselves. It was a $10 part, and we were able to fix the fridge because it was leaking. Also, look for local repair shops in your area, right? And support those local businesses. And I don't want to spend an additional $700, $800 and just go buy a new one if I can get it fixed for $50 or $100. If you end up buying, say, a really good washing machine or dryer, and the pair costs you $1,400 or even $1,600, but it's a really good pair, not just for the flashy gizmos, but it's actually high quality. Or you can go out and buy a washer and dryer combo that the combo only costs $800 to $1,000, but you have to replace it every 3-4 years. Over the long run, buying that higher quality item will save you much more money. You can do in-store checks for much of the products, right, that you buy, unless you're buying it on Amazon or something. Take a look at the product itself. Does it feel heavy? The weight test, right? If it's heavier, this often signals quality as opposed to light and flimsy. Also, the build test. Is it put together with glue and look cheap, or is it actually screwed together? Is it made of high quality durable metal or just cheap plastic and fiberglass? Also, take a look at the warranties. If there's a 5-year warranty offered, well, this often signals confidence. However, if it's a 1-year warranty or less, this is a warning sign for trouble.
Not only are appliances not lasting as long, but consumers often don't even have the ability to fix what's wrong.
Search for reality problems. Try to get reviews from actual people that have used the product and skip all those bots and paid reviews that mean nothing. Finally, check mid-range models, not the top tier and not the bottom, but just the mid-range, because often you can get 80% of the durable quality for 50% of the price, but this varies. But these are where the gems and diamonds can be found, because you're not paying the full price of a top tier item. But I don't know about you, but I don't want the bottom, but a solid contender for the middle ground that offers value and quality. Well, that's worth looking into. Some red flags to look for are, well, it's all marketing and hype, right? But there's zero specs or why the product is so good. It's just flashy and aesthetics that they're throwing at you. Is it proprietary parts and service that you have to go to only certified dealers, locking you into a system that you can't just take it to any repair shop of your choice, and the parts are hard to get, if you can even find them? If they put in smart features in regular appliances, this is a red flag to me, because often you don't need all those features. I don't need my fridge to tell me the temperature outside and be able to come up with recipes and all this stuff I don't care about. The fact that it keeps my food cold, works well, and doesn't break, well, that I do care about. That if those features break, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to fix. I'm not interested in giving money to these manufacturers. I care about taking that extra money and putting it into my investments. And I feel bad for the manufacturers that are out there, because I know they are, that make high quality items at a reasonable price. Those are the products that I'm interested in. In case you're new to my channel, I'm Aaron, a 20-year corporate accountant and analyst living in Western Canada. I talk about personal finance, investing, and investment portfolios. I put a lot of research into each and every video that I make. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, practical advice for the middle class, consider subscribing to my channel. One thing you might recommend is, well, Consumer Reports, right? Go to Consumer Reports. They have a rundown of, they list everything. I had Consumer Reports for 3 years, and for me, I didn't have a good experience because it's made for the States, right? If you know anything about it, it's a nonprofit that works for the States to give you trends and insight into consumer products. But when you translate that up into Canada, you'll notice that, I list the top 3 or 4 top products. Okay, I go to the store, I can't find them. They're not available in Canada. So that doesn't really help me. If you have cars under Consumer Reports, well, Consumer Reports won't take into account if it's Canadian, so they won't include the heater block. The prices will be different in Canada, and sometimes the car won't even be available. So I can't even use it for determining a price to buy a car. So for me, I'm like, why am I paying for this? Because it's like hunt and peck just to find a product that they recommend. For me as a Canadian, I didn't find it useful. I don't know. Like, I know there are great products out there, and if you have any ideas or insight into this, drop me a comment below with some of the great products that you've experienced. What are really good products that aren't just hype, but are built to last? I'd love to hear about that. Also, if you want, drop me a comment with some of the bad, crappy experiences you've had with products, as I'm sure there's just a ton of them out there.